Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the London Monarchs. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football, and on the call, as always, is Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We are about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the London Monarchs. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at the Londoners as they get ready here, and I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They passed the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, an early season tilt, and when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet, and both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. Able to fight through one tackle. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here. So out comes the offense now with a long field ahead of them. And they're led out by a guy who's done just about everything you could ever imagine to do in this league, the great Tom Brady.
It's been a lot of fun watching him develop in his career. But that will to win, he's had that problem. Since birth, and it transmits itself throughout his entire ball club. Watching him play, it can be an absolute joy unless you're on the other team.
Brady. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. On second down, here's Brady. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more tight ends.
He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 63 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. Partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. And they'll run it here. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure.
And it's caught. Touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And this offense takes the ball down the field and scores on their opening drive. And he has reached the summit. Move over Peyton Manning. There's a new record holder at the top, partner.
And somewhere Peyton Manning is not excited about moving over, but he respects the fact that someone came and got his record. And we're here to see it. How exciting is this? Not just for us, but for all fans of football.
Now the try here for the point after. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing out 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there.
Now the ball comes loose. And this is going to go the other way. The defense has it. So a first-quarter fumble in the rain, and this isn't supposed to let up. They've had flash flood warnings just west of here, so they better get used to this.
And it's hard to do real early in the game because you're so amped up and you're trying to do so much. You've got to get used to it, though. You've got to focus in on the ball, make sure you're taking care of it. That one cost him.
Now Brady gets away with one. Lucky, could have been intercepted, but it falls to the ground. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
This is caught. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 8th. And it's caught. Touchdown. Antonio Brown there to make the grab. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route. Ordinarily, it's probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Extra point attempt to come here. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And it's now 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throwing right in, that's complete. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He's got a man. That's caught left sideline. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Detroit! Now let's go! Green, 39!
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. And here now, the defensive starters.
And safety Cam Chancellor has had injuries hold him back a little bit the past couple of seasons, but his ability to stand in the middle of the field and intimidate receivers from going in that area, as well as delivering bone-rattling tackles, makes him a valuable asset to any defense.
Shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They're going to look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Now Harrison Butker for the field goal try. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And Butker able to put this one through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
This is taken at the 3. He spins free. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
Now Brady throwing on second down. He's going to fire one deep, trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play?
And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line.
Well, that's the second time he's been sacked so far in the first half. And if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so he can throw the football.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes it across midfield to the 45. He was able to pick up 6 yards there, so that leaves him with a 3rd and 13.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll set up to throw. Goes underneath for Henry. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good gain. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This from 54 yards away. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop down?
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it's London football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. Shelling through the defense, and he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. And we can say hello to the new NFL rushing king as he has just passed Emmitt Smith's mark of over 18,000 yards. What a privilege to witness this here.
Oh, Brandon, this is terrific. We're here. We get to see it live. We get to call it and see a new king emerge. A fantastic day, a tip of the cap, and congratulations.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people. Find some other playmakers. But always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Now let's go. 3-19.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Lamb. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
Here comes Tom Brady and the Patriot offense back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, That's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And he finds a man on a crossing route. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. And what a big-time play there. 44 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
And it's caught. Touchdown. Tom Brady, his third touchdown pass of this first half. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And, man, Charles, talking about singing something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catchers, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. A try here for the extra point. The extra point up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he loses the football a second time. But it looked like the Steelers were able to recover, and they will indeed hold on to the ball.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
He'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
He's going to air one out. That's going to be caught. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A big play there. 53 yards. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. And this one through the uprights and good. Butker now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Fighting through. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And all the way in for the touchdown. In for the score. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking out some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
Point after, up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership shows you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to change much personally. They go play action here on first down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. So 1:56 to play in this first half. Back to more NFL action on EA Sports after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, it's the season debut of the coach, Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, as we look ahead to all the action coming up this opening weekend. And of course, we'll also take a look back at this first half. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Here we go now. Blue Lightning.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Back to throw now on first down. Over the middle, complete. That's Lamb. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Set. 3-19.
They'll look to throw. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they've targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not
because
at all.
Those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a first down.
And the nimble footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Back to throw. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the pass rush. They've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
Now that's absolutely frustrating for a defender. Had a chance to get him on the ground before he got to the sideline, but what great vision and understanding where he is on the field as he headed for the marker and picked up the first down.
Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in a second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Extra point up and through. And the lead is down to 11 at 28-17. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Butker now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. Twisting away. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Brady now on first down. He's going deep for Brown. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there just before halftime. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. On first down, Brady. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Brady. And it's caught. Touchdown. The 4th touchdown pass of the game for Tom Brady. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Extra point attempt here still to come. The extra point up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. A drive there of just 4 plays. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. So we have reached halftime here in the Thursday night opener, as it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, good to get another season underway. We'll get back to you guys for the second half of the season opener. But first, let's take a look at what's still to come here in the opening weekend of the NFL season. In the early window, lots of good matchups to choose from. We'll highlight the game in Detroit. A big one for the Lions, as they'll take on the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Lots to look forward to in the late games as well. One of the best being up in Seattle, where we find the Seahawks taking on the Green Bay Packers. And then finally, we wrap up the week with a good one on Monday Night Football between the Miami Dolphins and what equates to be a very tough opponent. In the game you're watching, it's who else? Tom Brady with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and all of a sudden here, it's third down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now back to throw. He's going to float this one deep into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
Here we go.
Looking to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do, because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
All right, here we go. Blue 90.
Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved.
False start, offense.
Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And
still second down.
Oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
Now let's go. Green 39.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Only 2 yards on the pickup there, and now they're looking at a long third down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one, and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A big gain of 31 on third down.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion.
No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. But it looked like the Steelers were able to recover, and they will indeed hold on to the ball. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity missed.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity. You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
And the kick by Butker is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need them to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
To throw, it's Brady. Griffin's got it, middle of the field. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. His big game continues. Already has the 3 touchdown grabs, tacking on some more yardage and a first down.
And how precise has his route running been in this game? We just saw him get open yet again, and he's also made adjustments as the defense has tried to really stop him.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
And on the ground they go with a running back. Look at this spin. Balance. Yeah, he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a first down.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now he'll throw with Brady. He's going to fire one deep over the... And it's caught. Touchdown. 5 touchdown passes now for Tom Brady. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. This quarterback now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10.
3-19.
Back to throw here. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He'll drop to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
He dumps it off for Henry. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him out.
Welcome back now here in London. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. On 4th down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, 4th down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, run, pass. Defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action, and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. Throwing now is Brady. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Griffin. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. You said it earlier in the quarter when we saw a broken tackle then that we might see some missed tackles here early on in week 1, and that's another one right there.
Yeah, not a surprise at all. It will even out as the season extends because everyone will get used to the play speed. But right now, here in the early season, the advantage definitely goes to the offense.
Look at the big man rumble. And touchdown. A great effort there. 78 yards. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And partner Emmitt Smith now moves to number 2. His record of 165 career rushing touchdowns has been broken. What else can you say but wow?
I have no other words but wow, because Emmitt Smith set the standard. A guy that always found his way into the end zone. That record has now been eclipsed. The only thing our new record holder has to worry about, will Emmitt come back and try and get his record back?
Extra point safely through, and that'll push the lead up to 29 now. So that drive, 4 plays, and a long run there in the end to top it off. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do? You got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end. Take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Here we go now.
They'll drop the throw. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And here now a spin. The big fella, the 30, 10, touchdown. A great play there, an 80-yard touchdown. And this offense continues to pour it on. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want, but there carries a little extra pressure with that as well, because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, 2 sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. Hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
That one goes for 24 yards. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy. And
oh, my goodness, he loses it again. And this is picked up by the defense. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. That one good for 33 and a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Brady. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
No problem there on the extra point. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
Here we go now.
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 23 yards on the play. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very active.
And the ball is knocked out. And this will be scooped up by the defense. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. And I don't know that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head. Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and the big yardage all night long.
He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
Now a handoff looking right. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. That second down run, a big help as 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now.
Well, that's why the guy with the headsets is down there. All right, they know what they're doing because they got stuffed on a running play on first down. And I think myself and probably the fans were saying throw the football in this situation. But he knew what he was doing, called another run, and now they've got 3rd and short. But that certainly felt like an example of a defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've been mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game. They want to keep it going.
All right, here we go. 3 and 9.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Well, my friend, for the players, it's good for them to get that first game under their belts. For you and I, that first Thursday night game, also good for us to get that under our belts, wasn't it?
It was no longer preseason. We were into the regular season, the first game of the year. And, you know, all eyes were watching this one. Everyone was excited that football was back.
And it's just special. You could just feel it. It's so good to have the pigskin back out there. It'll be crisp fall weather before we know it.
You got that right, but I love the build-up to it, right? All day long anticipating it, and then we got here and we saw a game, the first game of the year. Let's keep going.